Hi, everybody. This is Eric Molin with Impact Presenting's podcast, episode number 5. Today I'll be speaking a little bit with Marc Verderol. He is an assistant professor teaching a master's program in retail design at the University School of Design and Engineering in Barcelona. I originally got to know Marc when he was working in the new store construction of a large international brand. Marc was kind enough to take a few moments to share with me a bit about his journey into being a more impactful public speaker. Good morning, Marc. How are you today?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. It has been a while. And, we've talked a little bit, we've stayed in contact, and I'm really happy you could come do this podcast with me and share a little bit of your journey for, some of my students or potential students or people who just want to break out of their shell when it comes to public speaking, because I know you took quite a journey. Could you share a little bit about that with us?
Well, let me start from the point that I'm right now, which is I'm being an associate professor at the university, which means that I'm doing public speaking and presentations and master classes, I'd say twice a week.
Okay.
And I enjoy it a lot, that's for sure.
How many students are in your lectures?
It depends. I have 2 groups. Normally, I do teach in a master that is about retail design. So I have a group that is English-speaking group, which, depending on the course or semester, it's we have about between 20 and 40.
Okay.
And in the afternoons, I do have the same amount of people, but they are Spanish-speaking people.
Okay. So you're still giving presentations pretty regularly, just to a different kind of audience and atmosphere. And
Correct.
I remember originally we were working together, and so that's where you're at now. Can you take us back to the beginning, though, perhaps just before my class, and maybe if you could walk us through a little bit about, your public speaking journey since then.
Well, at the beginning, it was clear that I was in a big company, international company, and the presentations that I did were, at least I had the feeling that we're not accomplishing with the wishes of our department, let's say so. Sometimes they were too specific in data. Sometimes they were too creative. Sometimes it was really, really difficult to match audience topics. I had the problem not focusing on the expectations of people that were listening to that presentation. And so I have to say that sometimes I got really frustrated. So this changed quite a lot when I'd say when I win some confidence in selecting the message I wanted to share. And this is something that I decided by my own. So depending on what I wanted to communicate, I was able to do it in a more specific data Excel-based way, or just to jump and switch into a very creative and expecting people understanding that there is something that has to be energized and something that has to be bought in some in a way of saying that, so that they could jump in that project somehow.
So the key, you think, then, is the audience focus?
For me, understanding the wishes of the audience listening to me at every different meeting or presentation. Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you have an audience and you kind of put yourself into their head, with what they're there for. How else do you find out what their wishes are?
Well, first of all, I understood that, and this is something that it's very related. It's much related to architecture presentations, because most people, they get lost sharing how we get into the final project, final result. So there are plenty of mood boards and inspirational things and thoughts. But the thing is that they want to see at the very first time what is the result of everything. So I learned to first give them a first image of the result. So first of all, I showed them what I'm going to present, so they see already the result. Afterwards, I explain them why. So why is it needed? In terms of business, this is very important because they are not there to understand the creative thoughts. They are there to understand why we do that. So market researches, cost analysis, and everything comes in this why phase. And then the what. So once they have seen the most impressive picture of what's gonna be the result, once they understand why we've been doing this, I show them the what. Then it's the moment where I explain everything and I show everything. And at the very end, I explain the how, which is something that once they have understood everything, then they are very interested in this how to do that.
Sounds like a pretty simple formula when you say it that way. The what, where, when, why, and how.
Absolutely. So first of all, it's an impacting image. Afterwards is why, then it's the what, and finally it's the how. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so let's imagine that, somebody's listening to this. They want to do something with their presentation skills. They know that they can get better. How would you, if we're going to wrap up here, how would you summarize? What advice would you give to them?
Well, first of all, I would say that the most important thing is to understand that people's time is gold. So they clearer, they minimalistic, they quicker, I don't know how to express that. You do your presentation, they're gonna love it.
Keep it short.
Yes, and sharp.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. And then you have to believe on what you present. That's for sure. If you don't believe in that, they know it, they see it. And then the third thing that is important for me is to be in contact with them, which means if you are able to make them participate of your presentation, they are gonna pay attention to your presentation, which is very important, of course.
To get engagement. That's step E.
Correct.
Well, Marc, I know you're a super busy guy and really appreciate you taking a few moments to share some of your experiences with me and my listeners. And looking forward to seeing you again, hopefully sometime next year in Barcelona.
Hopefully. See you soon, Eric.